Horse fanboys.
Yeah, wait, we weren't supposed to watch Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr.?
Oh my
God! Ugh.
I watched the Iron Lady. With
I watched Iron Man.
I watched the Iron
The part where he's like, I am Iron Man. Really moved me. I've never seen something like that in a superhero film. Marvel's truly one of the best out there doing
My
it.
favorite part was when he blew up all the foreigners.
Marvel. Okay. Welcome to T.
Speaking
we
of
all
foreign,
picked some movies.
We picked them, we watched them, and now we're going to talk about
Time
it.
to talk about
T for talk.
T for
Talking. Typing.
texting.
Alright,
touching.
let's get into it.
Stop.
The first picture we're going to talk about
Put his hands on my cock.
is one known as Tetsuo, the Iron Man, by one Shinya Tsukamoto. I hope I pronounced that right. I think I did.
Is this
You're supposed to use a heavy Asian accent.
No.
but
Jesus.
I'm not going to do that.
just
do
to
it,
be
Carter.
as offensive
So,
as
Come on, Carter, do it.
this
Do it. Be racist.
this
Do it.
film,
I want you to.
it's about
It's about Iron
It's
Man.
about
it's
friendship.
about Iron Man,
It's about love.
sometimes Rust Man.
Yeah, what's this movie about?
So
Yeah,
there's
John.
one man. It's about becoming metal, merging with metal.
It's like
and-
Venom.
So there's one guy who wants to
Symbiote.
become metal. He does it on purpose
That man.
by shoving
He's a.
some sort of
The
lead
description
thing.
describes him as a metal fetishist.
Yeah.
So he does that,
Everything.
and it seems like we'll talk about this later, but it seems like there's some stuff going on with like wanting to have the perfect body. There's pictures of Jesse Owens.
Yeah.
It gave me Get Out vibes, kind of. And then there's another man who accidentally, he's shaving, he cuts himself.
No.
Was that this?
Yeah.
No, that's the guy who hits the metal fetishist.
I know, I'm saying there's the other guy. There's two
Yeah, I thought
Iron
the
Men.
metal fetishist did it as like revenge.
Let me finish.
Well, you said the other guy was shaving.
Yeah.
That's how he turns metal.
No.
Yeah, he cut himself shaving, and that's how the metal got in him.
Okay.
Oh, I just thought it was the
First
metal
thing,
fetishist.
This movie's narratively very hard to follow.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It is.
It is totally not.
extremely hard.
No, I thought it was the metal fetishist was getting revenge.
Because I agree with
Yes,
Carter.
because he got hits, but
For being hit.
the other guy is turned. Yes, that is totally what's happening. But the other side, the other guy who hit him started turning into metal because he was shaving. They mentioned that in the movie.
Well, I thought that was just when it was happening. I didn't think it was because he was shaving.
I thought for revenge he started turning
No, they
into
mentioned
metal.
it that he cut himself shaving, and that's how.
Well, they show him shaving.
And he cut himself, and it makes it clear that that's how he started turning.
No,
iron.
I don't think that's how he
I wrote
started.
it
I don't think
down.
that's how he started.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I don't know. I guess I
Hold
didn't
up.
get
I
that.
wrote
I
this
just
down.
thought that was like him realizing that it was happening.
It's a reveal later in the movie. It's
I don't think it was shaving that caused it.
totally because it's the
I thought it was
entrance
when
of
they
metal.
killed him
It's the
and
entrance of
fucked in front of his body.
it's
Yeah.
the entrance
In
of
front his
metal.
dead body.
I thought that was kind of
No,
a more
it's the
exciting-
entrance of metal into his skin. It's the same
Oh,
way.
I get what
It's
you mean.
revealed later on in the. Let me find the notes.
Okay. I
That
think
makes sense.
It was kind of an aha moment for me because I didn't realize that that's what happened. But it
I
totally
thought you were
is.
saying that was like the inciting
I
moment.
thought that was like why
No,
he
no, no,
turned
no,
into
no.
I was like,
metal.
oh,
I
no.
I actually like the structure and how it reveals information. We'll get into. There, whatever. How did you guys feel about this?
I really liked it. I thought it was good.
I thought it was good, but I have issues.
I
thought
fucking
Nick would-
love this
I thought
movie.
Nick would love it.
I love this
No,
movie. I
I
thought this
think-
movie was fucking awesome.
My issue
Yeah, I thought it was
was
super cool.
narrative.
I like absolutely love this.
I thought it was cool.
You guys talk though, and then I'll get into it.
But narratively, it's very hard to follow.
I would agree with
I
that, but I would say
disagree.
that's part of the appeal.
And also, it kind of, maybe this is my own fault, it kind of seems like Eraserhead a lot of the time. A lot of the shots remind me of
Based
the man
off
from
what?
the planet.
Yeah,
Man,
Based
I'm
off,
not
but why
seeing
is it
that.
just because it's black and white?
No, not because it's just
You just
black
said
and
why.
white.
Because it reminds me
There's
of
a
what?
lot of shots that reminded me of, like, the man inside the
Well, yeah,
planet.
obviously there can
Man,
be
this is
influence.
shocking.
Just because it's
I thought
influenced by
Nick would
something.
fuck a
I
lot
thought I
with
would love it
this
too,
movie.
but at the end it started getting ridiculous and I started following it.
And
But that was
that's-
that's what's fun about it.
Oh my!
But-
I'm shocked that you didn't like this.
I was
Yeah,
more-
thought
I was
this
more
would be
into
a
the
new
body
Nick
horror.
flavor.
I was more into
The
Yeah,
body
they go
horror in this
crazy
is
at the
absolutely.
end.
I don't like how they go crazy.
Oh my god! All right.
My favorite part of this movie is the soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack
So
fucking
awesome.
rule. This speaking of awesome opening title sequences, this one
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, that
rips.
does rule.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah,
I
thought it was
really
cool.
it's like
I don't know if I love it as much as like its cult fan base does, but
I think
really enjoyed it. I
they
thought
have
it
some
was really
awesome
cool.
stop motion stuff in this.
Yeah.
Like with
I
them, all the fight sequences being done in like sort of stop motion ways, awesome. I think it's
It's kinda
gross.
silly.
It does the
It's
gross
extremely
body
silly.
horror awesome. There's
That's why I didn't like it, because it gets so silly at the end.
That's
But,
what
like,
exactly.
in the middle of it, there's like this extremely horrifying like body horror.
I know this is like known to be the I didn't get the disturbing aspect of it at all.
It's just a
it's just body horror.
it's just a
and
non-stop 60 minutes
it
of
all,
like
it all seems so over the top to me. Like with him with like the saw penis.
there's just so much great imagery of this. A lot of like stuff with their like the psychotic look on all the actors' faces. There's a lot of cool stuff with that. You guys keep talking. I'm trying to.
I thought it was cool. I don't know. There's not much I can say about it though. I didn't like get anything out of it.
I didn't
but
either.
I just thought it was.
I
Such
think
a
there's
fun,
some interesting
I
stuff with like
obviously I think it was fun, but I just didn't like love it.
I thought it was very, very entertaining and fast paced and. Whoa.
I think there's
movie.
I think there's some cool stuff with like industrialization of humans, like
Yeah, I can
bodies.
see
There's
that.
like the perfection of the human body kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, like you said about I was talking about the soundtrack.
So great.
It's metal,
I
but there's
love it
also
so
like
much.
awesome jazz interludes. It's just not. I would love to get
Yeah,
it
that
on like
was my-
vinyl or something.
That was my favorite part of this movie.
Yeah.
It's like
I really
it
like
reminds
the
me of like
and all the metal.
it's like
body horror
Lynch meets Cronenberg meets like Takashi Miike. Like it reminded me of almost like Gozu in certain ways, just like the over the topness of it.
stuff. Except not boring.
Okay, whatever.
I completely disagree.
Not
I
as
love
boring
how
as hell.
I love how chaotically shot and edited it is. I love how it looks.
I think that can. I like that aspect of it, but I do think it can
Sometimes
Yeah.
it was too much.
can be a little frustrating, and I thought it could pose
disagree.
a barrier to like. If you're not expecting it, it can become kind of a bit of a headache after a while. I thought.
I thought it was really like
But I mean, it's only like an hour long, so that's why I think it works pretty well. It's because it's only an hour,
yeah.
and it's so chaotic, and it can be tricky to follow.
I actually don't. I think
Yeah.
the way it reveals information of like how it turned. I didn't like how it reveals like the revenge story aspect of it. I think
I
it's
thought
really
that was cool,
I
but,
think
like,
again the
following it
reveal
up to
of.
there.
I did not find it hard to follow.
What was
I
with
really
the lady?
didn't. His girlfriend?
No, the other lady in the subway. And she touches some weird thing on the ground.
No, I agree. I agree with Nick that it is pretty difficult to follow for a while.
I was perfectly.
Smarty pants over here.
It's not like smart. I just think it's just a revenge. It's a revenge story basically, and it's like it's sort of.
I agree. It's a
sort of
revenge
like
story, but
divine.
getting there's a
It's
little
sort of
tough.
like divine justice of this guy who hits
Yeah, but
another
then
guy
they,
and starts.
they fall in love and they combine.
And it's also
into
like
a giant.
it's
metal
like
block.
homoerotic in a way that's
Yeah, at the
interesting,
end.
and I just think
I
a lot
love
of the
that stuff.
a lot
but
of the
I'm not gonna say
transformation.
it made like a ton of sense.
A lot of the transformation, like the girlfriend's transformation, is awesome. I think the costumes are sick
Yeah,
in
they are
this.
cool.
I just absolutely love
Yeah,
this.
I love the body horror stuff.
I love the body horror stuff.
I mean, if
but
I thought this would be like Nick's new favorite.
Me too. I didn't expect it to love it more. I really loved this.
No, I really.
I
thought
wanna
was
watch
good,
it again.
too.
don't get me twisted.
I really enjoyed it.
They have rocket shoot feet and they film it by stop motioning them throughout the city, like
I
in
do like
POV. It's just so cool.
I thought, yeah. I mean, I agree with pretty much everything John was saying. I do think it's hard to follow, but I think that can be part of the appeal. Is that it's just so crazy and over the top and
It's about accepting your metal future. It's succumbing to it.
non-stop.
He says, what's he say?
Yeah, it's a
Soon
bit of a
even
headache, but
soon even your brain will
Again.
turn to metal.
that's what the appeal is, and I think for what it is, it's fantastic. Apparently, I started watching like a making of video on YouTube, and apparently, like this was like his first movie,
That's so awesome.
and like he had to fight really hard to get it made, and like,
Makes sense.
no one was proud of him.
Was this the first pet?
And then he
you've
kind of
seen?
blew up, and he made a second one, I think.
The
Too.
second one's supposed to be not as good. And they made a remake, which is supposed to be terrible.
Yeah, I
And
heard.
And then
that
they made
a
and
remake.
then they made
What's
Iron Man. What if at the end
Is
he
that-
said, "I am Iron Man"?
Is that the remake Iron Man?
No, the Marvel.
There's an
team
actual
started
there's an
playing.
actual remake, I think.
Yeah, Iron Man. And he went to join the Avengers.
All right. Well, I'm bummed you didn't like it as much, Nick. I thought this would be absolutely up your alley.
Well,
I really enjoyed it.
What are scores?
I was between like a 7 and an 8. Probably like, I don't really do halves anymore, so it's gonna be one of those. A 7 or an
I thought Carter was gonna be
What's
like,
the
between a
score?
7 and 8. But now I'm at a 3.
8. What's the
8.
score?
You can score, bitch.
Come on.
I don't know. Maybe if I watch the making of video, I'll have a better appreciation.
Just give a
Probably
tentative.
A tentative 8.
Nick,
7.
9.
Yeah, I thought Nick would like.
I love this.
Be
I want to
drooling
watch.
over
I wanted
this
to watch.
one.
I almost watched it again.
I was like, I'm happy with the body horror stuff. Then it started getting silly. I was like, this is very odd.
That's what the stuff I liked. Was
I
like
didn't
when
like
they
that.
combine underwater or whatever.
It's just such a fucking metal movie.
Yeah,
I want to
it's
put like death
aggr-
grips.
it's
I want to put like
aggressive
death
as
grips
hell.
over the entire movie.
Yeah,
It'd be sick.
industrial core,
It's awesome.
just very hard movie.
Your metal future.
This ain't your grandpa's dad.
This ain't your grandpa's movie.
This ain't your
All right. Well,
grandpa's
Nick
Iron
hated
Man.
it because he doesn't like.
Hate
He
it.
doesn't like fun. He doesn't like Face Off. He
Nick
doesn't
said
like
it
this.
was too silly. It wasn't realistic enough.
Whatever.
I'm kidding.
We're gonna have to have a serious talk.
I agree with
We're
Nick
gonna have to
that
have-
it was not easy to follow.
Anytime I disagree again,
We're gonna
it's
we're gonna have to have a
shit.
serious
no,
talk.
no.
We're gonna have to
It
talk.
was
Have a
not
serious
easy
talk
to follow.
about your position on this podcast.
Yeah, that's until
That's gonna be off camera though. Of course.
I just
yeah.
won't be listening. I'll
Next
be fucking
episode, it might
erasing
be
it.
Maybe just
might be one less podcaster.
I get cut off.
we'll have a talk. We'll talk.
I think we should have control of the microphones. I should
I
have
should
control.
just cut him off.
And then anyone who disagrees with me,
Carter's just gonna take like my talking points from Vampire and be like, just cut it over this.
yeah.
Nick
So
likes.
Nick, what did you think? This is my
Nick
new podcast
likes
favorite.
28 Weeks Later, the least silly movie ever, more than this.
I don't understand.
Well,
I
28
guess-
weeks
was
later.
it just the tonal shift you didn't
Yeah, it
like? I
came
guess
out
I
of
can see
nowhere.
that. I guess I can see that.
Totally.
But it all worked for
I
me.
was really worried. It worked for me when it was like this oddly like disturbing body horror, but then everything just goes insane and they throw a grenade in it.
Yeah, I liked it all. I thought it kind of kept that up the whole way through. So
Whatever.
I enjoyed it.
If you guys
I
came in and like,
understand
if
Nick's
you
position.
guys came in and didn't like it, I would have been so sad.
No, I like it. I like it.
I understand his position,
Thank you. Man.
I don't.
but I would
Just
say
kidding.
it worked. It worked more for me.
Next.
Skip.
Guys, we're not talking about a movie.
Yeah, we only had 2
We only
movies
picked
this
two
Yeah,
month.
we only
movies this
picked
week.
two
Weird.
movies.
We've never done that
Interesting.
before.
And this little videotape thing called "This Is Not a Film." I love.
supposed to know we watched.
Oh, that's my phone.
Don't let them know.
Probably
This
the-
movie's an actual risk.
The
This is not a
It was
film.
an actual risk to release this movie.
It follows and is directed by Jafar Panini, I think.
Panini.
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 That's so bad.
But
Jafar Panini.
it's about how he
The
was
most
making.
Americanized.
I believe. Well, it ended up being his last film.
I don't think so. I think he
Yeah,
made
I
more
don't
after
know
this.
what happened after.
He made
I didn't
more.
I don't-
research
I did-
anything about
I really
no, he
wanted to.
made more after this. I'm
Did
pretty
he?
sure. Yeah. Taxi.
Yeah, I
Oh
don't,
yeah, he did make it more after this.
I don't
He made
know
more.
any
Well-
of the history behind this. Or
It-
anything. I've never
Well,
seen
Nick, you
his
can
other
ex-
films.
He had to. I just know this got
In
smuggled
the middle of
into-
shooting his like film, he really wanted to make the Israeli government.
He wasn't
busted-
shooting it. I don't think.
No, I thought they
It
were
was like
shooting.
pre-production.
Yeah,
because
he
he
was
had the
getting
location
it ready.
picked
Were
out.
they just location
He
scouting?
didn't have any
He had-
footage.
He had a screenplay.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had a screenplay completely written.
He had like
Like
the
the-
cast ready, I think.
Yeah, he had a cast ready because he shows a picture.
It was
of the
only a
girl
couple
at one point.
people, but yeah.
But he wants to make this movie, but the Israeli government comes in and takes away everyone that's in there. And they say, "You're under arrest. We told you not to make this movie," and didn't listen to us. So He
F the police.
he's sentenced to 6 years in prison
a cab.
and a 20-year ban from screenwriting, directing,
Stop.
all the good stuff.
Not acting.
So he decides to have his friend come over, and he's
Not
like,
reading screenplays.
yeah.
Yeah.
He said it doesn't say anything about me reading the screenplay, so we're gonna give this movie a shot. And what did you guys think?
I thought it was very good. I thought, I don't know if I loved it, but it's a really interesting, fascinating movie, and it's a really, it's a brave movie,
Extremely.
and there's a lot of risks involved in even deciding to make this.
Yeah.
I do think there are moments where I forgot who's the main guy's name, the director.
Jafar.
I thought he comes off as a little phony
I wouldn't-
sometimes.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't
I
think he came off
thought.
as-
Disagree.
Yeah, I think he was very sincere the entire
He had his
movie.
life.
His life was in.
His life
Yeah,
was
I know, but
Yeah, his life was wrecked.
yeah,
Jeez,
but
brutal.
I was gonna say
Little
I
fake
think that
bitch over
kind of
there.
deals with the themes of like he can't capture what he wants to capture,
Yeah.
and so like I don't know, but no, he's a very brave person in a terrible place where his life has been destroyed. So the fact that he even bothered to make this movie is really impressive to me, and that's where I enjoyed it mostly. I would say, I don't know if the movie itself is that entertaining, or at least for me, but it felt a little repetitive. But
Yeah, I've kind of been like grappling with this one a little bit because I don't really think I necessarily like liked it or enjoyed it. Obviously, I like 100% like respect this
Yeah.
film, and I'm so glad that it exists because I think it's deeply, deeply, deeply important.
yeah,
But I think on many levels, it kind of is a testament to the importance of like truly visual filmmaking. You know what I mean?
it's a
Yeah.
testament to
Like it
that,
shows like how important the visual aspect of a film is,
and
Yeah.
planning
and planning,
and like having a concept or structure for
and
your
I
movie.
think where this. I'm trying to figure out how to.
it
I
mostly.
can-
yeah, never mind.
let's talk about the. I love the ending a lot
Me
because I think
too.
it's incredibly sad and
Mhm.
very
The ending shot's
very
incredible.
poignant of like him still being trapped even
Yeah.
after all
It's
this.
like,
It's-
you shouldn't.
It's
come
a
out here.
depressing film watching this guy like have to grapple with this, not being able to do his passion,
Yeah.
and it's not. I think I agree with you that it's repetitive, and I think that there's a lot of like kind of meandering and like whatever, but like it's not like he had much to
Yeah,
work with.
I wouldn't
here,
say
you know
that's
what
the
I mean?
film's part because this is kind of just like a day in the life. with
Well,
him.
it really only works as like a meta narrative.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't work on it if you had no.
I think
context
I think
behind
there's
it, it
interesting
wouldn't
stuff
really
with like
work.
when he showed that movie where the girl's like, where he's like, I'm not acting anymore. I don't want to act anymore. When it's
Yeah.
like this guy isn't acting anymore either. He's breaking down because he can't do his life's
Yeah.
work. I think that stuff
I think
is
like one of the best scenes in the movie is that he's like, I can say the movie, but I just can't do it. I don't understand.
Yeah,
those moments
there's a
came
lo-
off as a bit like pretentious.
No, that
or
came off as
phony to
sincere
me.
to me.
I think the philosophical. I think it's an interesting movie to discuss like
Yeah.
on a philosophical level, on like a filmmaking level
Yeah,
of like.
I agree.
I think I was more engaged thinking about this than actually watching it. I
I
think
wanna-
that's
I
where
would
I come
agree
down.
with that.
I guess I just want to say, like, I would say it's important to watch this
Oh,
movie.
100%. I'm like,
I completely don't regret this at all.
It
I think
is-
it's important to appreciate that like
Yeah.
we're not being censored.
Oh my
in
God, yeah.
Countries like
I think
this.
it's
Because like the movie he wrote was like, from what you could tell, it wasn't like that extreme of a
don't know
movie.
about you.
It, just
It
wasn't
involved
about the movie.
Suicide.
I
no,
wanted
no,
to
it
see
wasn't
that
about
movie.
He didn't get banned because of the movie. He got banned for speaking out against the opposing
Oh,
party.
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Okay.
He was banned not.
So he was just banned.
because on the call
He
with
was
the lawyer,
very-
they say this isn't like
Oh, it's
anything
irrelevant
legal.
to your movie.
He
Yeah.
was
Oh.
outspoken,
This is
which is
political.
what makes it even more.
That makes it more upsetting.
He was
yeah.
outspoken about the opposing party, and it's Iran, right? They're in.
yeah.
Yeah, it was an
Because-
Iranian film.
Yeah.
There was. It was. There. It was. I think it's
Saudi Arabia.
2011. Was it 2008 or 11?
Oh,
But there was
This
there's an opposing
This was
party.
made, when was this made? Like 2013?
I think it was 11.
Okay.
2011. But there's an opposing party attempting to take
2011.
control of Iran, and obviously, like, the government stuff.
It's not rated because it's not a
oppressive.
movie.
But he was outspoken in support of the opposing party taking over, and the current government obviously was not happy about that.
Yeah.
So he received a ban.
Also, like, that's another aspect of it. It's like the whole background of this movie is like fireworks day,
It's an
which is
Yeah.
illegal. So there's like riots and stuff going on.
It was insane. The shot at the end's insane. Of
Yeah.
The fire
It's
just
New Year's.
breaking
It's
out.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was very sad to me to hear all these people be like completely normalizing, like the guy in the elevator being like, yeah, they just came in and they raided my apartment and they destroyed everything,
Yeah.
and like hearing all these people be just adjusted to like there's constant like bombs and like
Obvious-
there's constant
Dude, I just
police are
what
just
this made
roaming
me
the
think
streets all
of-
the time, and it's very upsetting to just see how normalized it is.
What
to
this
these
made me
people.
think of, in a way, and I'm not like trying to like compare like our situation currently to what's going on, but it made me think of the like I wanted to go out and protest in these in the recent protests, but was completely unable to because of the current quarantine situation. And it's just the idea of like feeling strongly about something politically and being unable to go fight for that
being
is
effectively silent.
And I'm obviously not comparing myself to like what was going on there, 'cause it's a whole other thing. But
Yeah, wow,
it did.
you're so
it
brave.
did. It
John
did.
is Jafar.
That stuff did resonate with me about feeling incredibly strong about something and being unable to fight for it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a tough thing to deal with, and especially like dealing with that and facing down 20 years of prison and being unable to do what you love. It's sad. It's very sad.
Those are breaking.
It's a very sad and fascinating
somber.
and
It's-
upsetting movie.
Yeah.
It's not a movie.
But
I like
but
it.
I think that like as a movie itself, it's not a very enjoyable.
Agreed. That's where I
watch.
come down on it.
And there is a lot of just repetitive or mundane stuff in it, which
I feel like
I
that's
guess
the point.
that is
kind
the
of.
point. But
But I
to
I
me,
can
it's
understand.
like I don't really
what you're saying.
want to ever
Completely.
watch this movie again.
Yeah, I would never watch it again.
You know what I mean?
But
Yeah. I think
it's like a piece of.
I would
it's like
say
a-
it's important documentation of
I
what was
was
going on.
I was
also.
interested the entire time.
similar to me to like Andy Warhol's Empire, the 8-hour static shot of the Empire State Building, or like something like that, like an art installation piece where it's like it's cool that it exists and it's important that it exists, but it's not something you necessarily
movie's a lot
need to
like,
sit down and watch, or like you want to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it also I like it for how it shows the importance of filmmaking as like a documentation of
Yeah.
current events. But yeah, I'm with you. I didn't necessarily enjoy it as a film, but I enjoyed thinking about it, and I'm 100% like glad it's made, and I think he's an incredibly brave human.
Let's say this
Yeah,
movie's a lot like
I-
dumb Starbucks.
Yeah, I guess in summation, it's like I think it's important that it exists, but I don't think the movie itself is necessarily important. If that makes sense.
I don't know.
I wouldn't say the
Yeah, I
movie
wouldn't say
isn't
that at
important.
all,
I would
because
just
the
say
movie's
it's
the whole
not.
point.
It's
like
not.
the content of the movie is less significant than the.
I don't even
Well,
know if
I would say
agree
the
with
content
that.
is important, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would say it's not like enjoyable, and I didn't.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, that's
slow.
probably
It's
more
kind of for what is this like 70 minutes long?
Yeah,
it
it's
felt
an hour
it
14. I
felt
think.
very long.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that. I just didn't.
Well, you're
feel-
wrong.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Wow, once again.
Look, just
Don't
you're
get
telling me
shit
you're telling me
on.
you could give me a camera and I can record myself in a house reading a screenplay and get in cans
Well,
and
you weren't
sign me up.
You
Sign
weren't
me up, all right?
arrested.
Whatever. Sign me up. I'll do it. I could do this.
Yeah.
Alright, scores.
Give me a DUI and I'll make this movie.
Scores.
I have my score.
I was between a 5 and a 6, but I think out of respect for it as what it is, I think I'm gonna give it a 6.
I'm gonna give it a 7.
I'm giving it a 6.
What the? What?
What?
A 6? You've said nothing bad about it, Nick.
What do you mean? I said it wasn't entertaining as. you guys. I also said I wouldn't watch it again.
Respect the man's score, all right?
Okay.
His scale
I'm just-
might be different from yours.
Just is confusing to me.
Why is it confusing?
Because you seemed like a big fan of this movie, and then you
I'm a
gave
big
it a
fan of the
lower
i-
score
I'm a
than
big fan of
Tetsuo.
the idea. I don't understand why you gave it such a high score.
Because I have a lot of respect that it's made, and I think it's an important
But you were
movie.
shit talking the movie the entire time.
All right,
No, it
who
wasn't. I was
cares?
saying
Let the people give their
It
scores.
wasn't enjoyable. I did
Scales-
talk about why I think
scales
it's so
differ. It's
important
just a
and
number.
significant.
Who cares?
Anyways,
Nick hated it. You
I
loved
don't know
it.
why.
That's 6 and 7. That's hate and love.
pretty much.
Okay,
Fucking
All right.
hypocrites.
Now,
glad we talked about that non-film.
Yeah.
talking about
Let's talk about a real film.
an auteur film. The Turin Horse, directed by Bela Tarr. Director of Workmeister Harmonies,
And Satan.
which is a film
Satan
I've
Tango.
seen, and Satan Tango, which is a film I have not
I'm
seen.
gonna watch it soon.
It's quite the undertaking.
What do you mean?
and-
You don't have 6 hours of
7.5
7.5 hours of free time every day
And
to watch a what is it, Holocaust? No, that's
No.
Showa.
Showa's 10-hour Holocaust.
That's on my. I have to do that for the Letterboxd season challenge.
So Turin Horse is about a father.
Do you want to just give us the whole plot?
Yeah, I'll give you the whole plot.
Oh, yeah.
Time me, it will be like 15 seconds.
Fun. I don't know, but fun fact, but this consists of exactly 30 shots. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I knew Saint Tango has like 100 shots.
This is exactly 30 shots.
That's kind of really significant to the movie, but whatever.
It's like a
Turin
month.
Horse is a father and a daughter who live in
In the worst possible area.
yeah, in the
ever.
worst place ever.
It might be the realms of purgatory.
Literally
for all I
hell.
know.
And
I think you're onto something.
they spend each day doing the same thing. They wake up. She helps him get his clothes on.
Gene Horseman,
And
Turin Dealman.
they cook potatoes. They get water from the well.
Until they
Their
don't.
horse is dying. The Turin horse. And then essentially they have to leave because they're out of water.
Do you know why they're out of water?
Because of the gypsies.
The gypsies!
The gypsies came. The gypsies come by.
Some random guy shows up. For
They're out of water. Gives an amazing monologue, and then
Really?
I don't know if I'd call it amazing.
We'll talk about
That was
it.
something.
well, whatever. It's significant, and then
I don't.
I
We'll
don't
talk
know
about
if it's significant as much as
I will start. I think that rant is the worst part of this movie.
Really?
But go on. We'll talk
I
about
think
that.
the rant is significant in that it
I do too, but I think
literally
it-
does not matter.
I know, but it totally breaks. Keep going. I think it totally breaks the flow and like what this thing's going. But I didn't hate it, but I think it is one of the worst moments.
And then, yeah. So they're out of waters. They try to leave. They can't leave. And then,
For unknown reasons.
Yep. And then they die. And That's,
Do they? Well,
That's the movie.
okay.
And eventually they die because they both just stop trying. They both give up on life.
So can I start?
And it's, yeah. What do you think?
It's another one I've kind of been grappling with. I think it's truly one of the most like absolutely depressing movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I've left this feeling very empty because it's literally this movie is, it's about giving up, and it's very sad, and it made me very emotional in a way I'm not sure like how to grapple with, because I really want to dig into this one, because I would be lying if I said this wasn't a chore to watch. But I
Yeah,
think it's, oh God. I'm struggling to kind of put together my feelings on this, if I'm being honest. Because on one sense, I really didn't enjoy watching it at all. But on the other sense, that's obviously totally the point, and it affected me in a way that I think is pretty genius And someone else take over.
Yeah,
I want
Nick,
to.
what did you think?
He hated it.
I didn't hate it. I'm split on it.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, did this get
Nick
me.
watched it in maybe the worst way possible, though. In fairness.
But even then, it gave me so many Gene Dillman vibes. And
This
I
is
hard disagree.
See, here's the thing.
No.
You guys said Gene Dillman was poorly made. This is incredibly made.
yeah, that's
and it's
yeah.
absolutely
that's why I'm
gorgeous.
split. This is a,
Okay,
I have
technically-
some technical problems.
Technically, this
with
is a
some
very
of the
well-made
sound
movie.
design. I have
What?
problems
The
with.
sound design is some of the
I
best
thought it
parts
was
of this.
I don't know.
incredible, and then sometimes I thought.
Sound design is so odd. Like the coins.
Sometimes
Oh my
I thought their feet were like way
When
too
she
loud.
first opens the door to go
That-
outside, it's absolutely like
I was about to
knocks
say,
you
my
off your fucking
favorite
socks.
part of the sound design was the wind.
It's
and
absolutely
how,
incredible.
Yeah.
What, like when they'd open the door, it would just blow you away.
It's
and like there's a
I
lot
would
of like
God I
subtle
would have
stuff.
killed to see this on a theater.
I think maybe
big screen.
the audio file I had was a little messed up because sometimes it would clip, and like
Maybe that's your
specifically
problem because I
long
watched it
noises.
on Canopy and I had zero problems with this.
I just some of the
Or no, I
some-
watched it on Prime.
Some of the noises I thought were mixed a little too loudly, or mixed
I didn't have
oddly.
I didn't have a problem.
and
with
that's
it.
basically what all my notes are because there's not like a lot of notes you
Can we talk about
take on this movie. But
Can we talk about the first like tracking shot with the
Amazing.
horse?
I
Absolutely
don't know
incredible.
how they did it.
It's incredible. This movie is. Let's start by saying this movie is pretty gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the use
it's
of
one
it's a
of the,
really great
maybe the
looking
best
movie.
shot.
The use
movies
of
I've ever
lighting
seen.
is absolutely like breathtaking at times, and the use of location and weather and just the natural elements of everything is so impressive.
Yeah.
Nick, finish what you were saying
Like I
though.
said, technically, movie's great. But boy, oh boy, was I wandering. I understand the point, okay? I
guess. Do you guys like slow cinema?
I do.
like slow cinema.
I love
but
it.
Not
I do too.
I
this
think-
slow.
Some
I
of my
love-
favorite
I-
movies are slow
I think this
cinema.
creates-
Stray
Me too.
Dogs
I
are
think
amazing.
this creates a routine and it teaches you how to watch it and then it breaks it and
Yeah, that's why I think the
thematically-
monologue is really great.
that's why I think the monologue is out of place because I don't think it's just some guy. I didn't love it. I really
Really?
didn't love it. No, but I think it's a
I
break
just
in
thought
routine
His
that
performance is really great,
It is.
and I think the fact that he's just going on, and it's clearly irrelevant to what.
well,
the
it's
point of the
relevant.
movie
It's
is.
talking about how like God and man are at fault for what's happening, and I think that's relevant
Yeah,
to the
but,
movie. But I don't
I
think
guess the idea of this didn't change. This would be a major moment, but it didn't change anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
I
get what you're saying.
Their lives remained exactly the same after he came and delivered this incredibly would-be significant speech, except they just continued going on with their
Fair enough.
lives.
I think that's the reason they couldn't leave later on because there was no town to go to.
Yeah, I think probably. I also thought it could be just the horse couldn't keep going.
Oh, the horse stuff is,
Which is
so,
so hard to watch.
sad. I don't know how that horse is maybe the best actor here, because the look on his
Feels
face
terrible
is
for
so
the horse.
sad, and that's the beginning of this movie. I was I wasn't exactly sure, I wasn't exactly into it until, it was oh, this horse isn't the horse doesn't want to eat. I was like, oh, okay, this is what this is gonna go for, and I kind of knew what the ending would be, and watching it was kind of heartbreaking. Because
Well, yeah.
you knew where this was going, and there was no way to stop it.
Pretty early on, you figure out that they're not going to survive.
It's just so.
And
it's-
it makes it's such a long movie.
It's very
too.
neat. It's
like
very
2.5
Nietzsche.
hours of watching people do the same thing in unbroken shots.
It's a perfect quarantine movie.
And it's just it's complete. It's so brutal.
It's brutal. It's depressed. It really left me feeling pretty empty because it's just it's just these people wearing down by some unseen force around them, and both that and the monotony of their own daily actions. Just that's why I think that the guy talking about this is both God and man's fault, because it's they're wearing down both by the outside world around them, that's things out of their own control, and the institution that put in place that makes them have to live like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
it's not. That's the thing. What time period is this supposed to take place
I don't
in?
know. I don't even think there's like a time or place. I think it's just it takes place in nowhere. You know what I
'Cause
mean?
It's very much like the idea that of like faith and like trust in God is challenged in this movie.
Yeah, and
because
just due to like
nothing changed. Like nothing. There's no hope in this movie ever, which is
it's hard to watch.
it's
truly
upsetting.
yeah.
It really does feel like hell.
Yeah, they're trapped in some sort of. Nick said it earlier, like purgatory
Purgatory.
almost.
Yeah.
In this third, like I wouldn't. It's like hard to even call it living, because it's
No,
a point
and-
of just like them staring out the window at. It's like it's very like it's obviously referential to like Nietzsche and like searching for meaning and like what's the point without like having a meaning for living
And the thing with like the gypsies come and they're all happy and like together and they give her this book and the book doesn't do anything. the book they give her this book and the book doesn't do anything and it's just you keep wanting a change and it never
and
comes.
happens
and
until
then-
it does, and it's
Yeah,
like in
no.
the most heartbreaking way possible. It's like minor. Like the first change is obviously the horse won't leave, and then
Yeah.
this man can't do his job, and the next change is what was it?
I think
The
the
horse
next
won't.
time
Next,
something-
then it's the horse won't eat, and then it's
I think the guy shows up.
and the guy shows up and talks, and that doesn't necessarily change anything, and then the water goes away, and then
After the gypsies come.
and then they lose light. They
after
literally
they almost steal the girl.
they
too.
lose their only form of light, which obviously is metaphorical.
Yeah.
But and then they don't. They can't even do the most simple human.
Yeah, then they refuse to eat. And that's how the movie ends. It's just
And
them
it just ends.
both deciding we're not going to eat anymore, and then the movie ends.
It's hard. It's really hard to watch.
It takes, but how many days is it? Is it
6. There's
Right.
there's like Bible. I think there's like Bible stuff. 6 days.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's some.
I didn't
religious
read
significance to that.
into much of that because I kind of just took it on its own. Nick, I'll let you talk a little bit. Sorry.
It's fine.
I kind of just have a
Um,
lot to say about
This
this.
kind of just becomes misery porn to me.
I don't know if I subscribe to that.
Because it's not like what it's not like torturing these people.
It's not torturing
It's
them,
just
but
it's
it's so tedious to me.
that's the I just
That's
think
not-
that's
but
I
that's
know
the
that's the
point.
point.
the
but
mundanity of their daily activities just
Doesn't make
just
the
watching them
movie-
wear
The thing
down.
that didn't work with Gene Dealman is that I didn't think, one, I think it was technically incompetent, but two, I think that, or Jean Dealman, I don't know,
Doesn't matter.
but two, I think that it doesn't have this hyper focus on what its meaning is. So then there's all these people who are like, it's a feminist film. It's about the mundane.
like bourgeoisie stuff.
It's about the bourgeoisie. It's about
gotta watch
the
it.
everyday chores we have to do and how mundane and how that can wear on your mental health. And I'm like, it all feels like it's not focusing on one specific theme. And this movie is.
It's
And-
focused.
and that's why I think it's so much more effective than something like.
It's like
John
relentless
Dealman.
with its theme in a way where you can't not think about it.
But
Yeah,
when I
it's so obvious.
when I want to watch a
thematically.
movie, I want to be in. I want to be in that movie. Like even something you could say that's not fun to watch. Funny Games.
I think
has,
Funny Games is fun to watch.
Yeah, I do too.
it has you hooked though. This movie did not hook me.
Funny Games is different in that Funny Games, I guess they're both like movies that work as meta movies, but,
Yeah, but-
Funny Games is different in that literally part of its narrative is that it has to hook you in. And I would also say that Funny Games doesn't immediately hook you in.
I would
It
disagree.
kind
I
of
think-
dicks around for like
I
20
think-
minutes intentionally.
And I think the point of this is that there is nothing to hook you in because life isn't a movie.
I just don't
And,
like
like,
that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying obviously I didn't like this, but I think well,
Like,
I also think the whole idea of like, because I read a lot of comments and reviews that said like, I thought it was awful until like day 3 where I really started to feel the pain of these people.
I think I was hooked right when the horse, because I was like, okay, I know where this is gonna go, and there's no way there's like nothing you can do to stop where this is going to go, and you're just literally watching these people wait to die, and it's like,
I cannot imagine watching this as like an old man
and the meta of this was his last movie.
Yeah, this is the last thing he'll ever make, apparently.
This could only be made by someone who's going through some, like, a deep depression, I think. And I think this...
How do you guys feel about the one song?
I was gonna ask about the music.
That they play over and over and over
I liked it.
I think the song is great, and I was annoyed with it at a point, and then I was like... And then I got, like, why it's repeating, and... This movie not only it's like watching people get worn down, but it like wears you down watching it.
Well, yeah, the point because when you first hear it, you're like, "Wow, that is a really
an epic,
powerful
song."
And then it will play it at the most random, mundane moments, and it wears on you after a while until eventually you're like, "I never want to hear this."
Even as good of a song it is.
Of one. I don't know what instrument it is, playing the same 3 notes over and over again. You can't take it anymore. And that definitely is part of the, I guess, I don't know if it would be like meta, that's an aspect of it, but
it's just, I think it's thematic.
And I think the fact that he uses essentially the same shots for the same actions every time is significant too.
Yeah,
So yeah, I had a few technical problems with the sound. I thought was mixed weird, but
I thought the sound was incredible.
I agree with Carter.
Points I thought it was really impressive. For the most part, it worked for me, sound-wise.
The wind, I would just kill to like watch this with a full sound system and like. Well, I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily want to watch it again, but I think like I wish I watched it.
Again.
I wish I watched it with like a full like surround sound system because I think it would knock your socks off. That whenever she opens that door, literally blows you away.
Are you guys excited for Satan Tango?
I am.
3 times.
This made me want to watch
Turin Horse.
I gotta see what Gene
This
Dealman's
made
all
me
about.
not want to watch Satan Tango.
Workmeister Harmonies is very different than this. It's similar, but like it's not nearly as nihilistic or depressing or.
Yeah, this is easily one of the most nihilistic movies I've ever seen.
Or a narrative list.
Yeah.
Like there's no story really.
There's no climax. I mean, there's no climax to anything. There's no inciting incident really. It's just like.
I would argue that maybe the closest thing to climax would be the speech, but that's like halfway through the movie.
I'd say the closest thing to this climax is her discovering there's no water.
Yeah, that too.
An inciting incident may be the horse not eating, like not wanting to leave. Which is like the most like uneventful.
Wouldn't it be just?
It's like the lack of. It's like the opposite of like most inciting incidents are like someone taking off on their horse to go on some sort of journey, but this one's like the horse won't leave, so you're stuck here, and this is where the story will be.
To the house, I think that would be the inciting incident, is because that's the last time he ever got to see anywhere other than his home. And then that shot where they leave and it just holds. And then you just see them come back. So.
Yeah, it's like a glimmer of hope, and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie affected me.
So yeah.
It really did.
I don't know. I really liked it. I thought it was pretty great.
I do too.
I disagree.
Right. Scores.
Nick, you go first then.
5.
It seemed more positive than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I was.
Well, technically, it's like amazingly done. So.
I think. I guess if I had a complaint, I would say like. I think it maybe can be a little heavy-handed with its theme. Like, it is very obvious about its theme.
Yeah,
the horse
at one point I was like, okay, I get it, just please.
But Obviously, it's the so I
But
think
obviously that's the
I think I'm
point,
gonna go
still.
with an 8.
Yeah, I went with an 8 too, just because of the few technical problems I have. I don't mind it being heavy-handed thematically.
I know that's just I'd say a minor complaint.
Yeah, I
it's
meant an
just
8 too.
It's just brutal.
Did we talk about YMS at all? Your movie sucks, and how he thinks this is
YMS
wor-
is
the worst movie ever made.
I think I can understand.
I don't.
I
Not in
don't
the
either,
slightest.
considering he gave Gene Dillman an 8.
Well,
Although he has, in fairness to him, that was like 10 years ago, and he has said that he's going to give it another shot. So
Hope he
maybe
does.
he'll like it more when he watches it again.
The perfect quarantine movie. Repetition,
Perfect
all the days
quarantine movie.
merged together. This is both of them. We watched 2 movies about people stuck in their
Yeah.
homes. Depressing episode.
Yeah.
Favorites?
Good episode, though.
Favorites?
Turin Horse, for me.
Tetsuo.
Tetsuo.
Sounds like a plan. What do we have next
What's
episode?
next?
I, as in, interview with the vampire.
Interview with the vampire.
Interview with some vampires. Interview with a couple of vampires.
It's vampires.
Inland Empire.
vampires.
Oh. I'm a cyborg. And that's okay. By
But-
That's okay.
by Park Chan Wook.
Mine is by fuck if
Neil
I-
Jordan.
David Lynch.
Neil Jordan.
Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise.
Look at-
present.
I know my stuff more than this guy.
Yeah, his own damn movie. Though.
Who's there for Neil Jordan? And
Neil-
who's not there for the pit master?
I'm there for Neil Jordan.
I'm there for the pit man.
The auteur controls all.
Yeah, okay.
Read up on your auteur theory. Alright?
I'll give you an auteur.
Anyways,
Yeah.
let's say a
Some
solid
movies.
episode. I liked all of these
watch
movies.
some films.
I liked 2 of them.
I thoroughly enjoyed
And Nick had
none
to give-
of them.
Nick-
no, I enjoyed Tetsuo. No.
Nick had to give his favorite movie to something he hated.
This episode was so bad.
Yeah. I was more positive than negative on this one.
I was a negative one.
Negative Nick, we'll call him.
They call me Negative Nick.
Negative
Haven't
Nelly.
we already done that?
They call me
The
Mr.
negative-
Negative.
Oh,
I was
wrong,
negative.
Nick.
Incorrect Nick.
They call me Mr. Negative.
Alright. We're out of here.
Which is more of a chore to listen to, this or Turin Horse?
Imagine just listening to Turin Horse.
Probably be. I was gonna say that could be one of those unintentional ASMR videos.
The book was metaphorical because she was reading so slowly and she was so far from the end, and it was like life. Her
I
life
thought
was
you were gonna
going
say
by
it's like the movie.
her life was going by so slow, but she didn't no end in sight. No meaning. The words had no meaning. I mean, it really makes you think. It's
Really
one of-
makes
that
you
movie's
think.
one of those thinkers,
Just
you know?
watch
If you don't like it, you're probably stupid.
Yeah.
Just watch Synecdoche.
What?
What does that have to do with
Not
anything?
related. in the
Synecdoche is about
slightest.
everything.
It's about literally everything.
It was
I'm
amazing.
excited for Kaufman's new
Oh,
movie.
Yes,
I can
Kaufman's
I'm
movie, I'm
so
so
excited
excited
for
for
that.
it.
I want to read the book.
I want to
It's
read
a
his
short-
book.
It's a
Yeah,
short.
Ant Kind.
I want to read
And
it.
kind of really want to listen.
Watch.
Ah!
This guy. All right, we gotta get out of here before this guy embarrasses himself
I'm
again.
having a panic attack.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I'm not going to say